right. Let's do this. Good afternoon. Woo. How are you doing, chat? Welcome back. Let me turn that off so it doesn't come back. So, good news. I had my best day trading futures I've ever had. Well, trading micros in this new session. I have definitely YOLO'd news in the past and had better days than today. But today is, since in the last month of trading just micros, it really was a mean inversion, like masterclass from the plus twos. And yeah, I'm pumped on it. So first, there is a couple people here watching. Welcome back. If you have any questions, please leave them in the chat or just say what's up. Let me know that you can hear me and things like that. I'll go through all the trades I took. I actually took a bunch of trades today, a lot. And then we'll see, with me being up the most I've ever been up, I'm probably not going to be trying to give anything back if I'm being completely honest with you. But if I will mess around at the plus twos, just because the plus twos are just, the statistics for that are really, really high. If we're kind of looking at the chart going into today, we had a huge ATR going into today of almost 1,000 after yesterday's range. Opened up pretty much right under 50%. So did have to sit on our hands. I like to wait till we get to 50% of the range before I like to get into any trades. If we look with that massive range yesterday, we have yesterday's high. We have yesterday's low. Yesterday's VPOC was at pretty much 775. That didn't come into play yet today. And then some other areas, the trend is pretty much straight flat across. After coming back yesterday, it's kind of been hanging out right there. Value area high and low are also marked on this chart. And then today's developing VPOC as well. So those are what I'm using to help target entries. What's up, Mike, man? Welcome. Thanks for hopping in the chat, man. Mike, can you hear me okay? So yeah, that's kind of what I was looking at going into today and making sure that we are good to go. We opened up pretty much, here is 9 o'clock in the morning, and we pretty much pulled down into the open and then V-bottomed right back up, which we've been seeing a lot in March, which I'm sure is making it very, very hard. But the amount of times that I'm sitting and watching my charts and I'm thinking to myself, wow, this is a spot where I would have went short, and now I find myself going long. Or the opposite. I'm going short where this was a spot where I thought I was going to be going long. It's nuts, but now it's working. Like I said, up $1,300 today across 10 accounts, 3 live accounts, 7 prop firms. We can also, I didn't make any trades on the ES today. There was actually some good opportunities. I did look with yesterday's VPOC up here. I did have a standing order at the trend line up here. It just never hit it. And at that time, that was also a +2. So we had yesterday's VPOC, a trend line, and a +2. That was a trade that I wanted to take on the ES, but I was just sitting on my hands. And yeah, so I didn't make that trade. We will have an order up here. Kind of like I said, with this being a really big day, $134 with micros is a lot. And I will say, like, a trend going in, or a mindset going in as I'm journaling and looking back at my trades for the day, is I am still very, very timid. I'm still not finding it possible, even with 90% winning rate right now, to like really hold on to trades. And I know that that will just come with developments. Like, I'm watching my average trade day increase over the last month from like $40 was a big day, 60, 80, now 100 is kind of a big day, and 134 is a very, very big day, especially when you break that across 10 accounts. So I'm looking at the charts thinking to myself, wow, I really had opportunity to really have a day that my brain can't even comprehend. And I'll show you spots where I got out and I probably shouldn't have. And there's also a little bit of, I started the day kind of in drawdown and I had to kind of work back towards that. So let's just go back to the beginning of the day. I got to my desk this morning at about 8 o'clock. So we can see here my first trade of the day, and it went against me immediately. Okay. So right here at 8:30 in the morning, I'm at the -1s. I am going long, and I am targeting early pre-market. I'm probably targeting this trend line right here. That's been, and we'll see, that's kind of what I use as my target. Although my strategy says like, hey, let's go line to line. I'm still figuring out how to do that. Great question in chat. What are your favorite instruments you like trading? Do you like trading gold? So right now, I've traded everything over the last 5 years of trying to figure this out. I'm only finding consistency now with the Dow and the ES. I've given up on the NASDAQ. I've never traded gold. I have traded platinum a bunch, and I have traded crude oil a little bit. But what I'm finding is as I learn, I need these less volatile type stocks or indexes or futures with not a lot of swings high and low to give me the best chance at being early and having my entries be wrong. We're going to see right here with the first trade of the day, my entry was not wrong, but maybe a little early. And when I was trading the NASDAQ, even with micros, it would move against me too quickly. And if my entries weren't outstanding, I'm just not that good. So I feel like I'm not turning my back on the NASDAQ forever or gold. Like the metals right now are freaking, it's crazy. It's crazy. So that's just not something, like I'm not a YOLOer and I'm just not good enough. I can look myself in the mirror and be like, I'm not good enough to trade the NASDAQ. I'm really not. My goal is maybe to get there. I mean, a month ago, I didn't think I was good enough to trade the ES. And now I'm starting to work in slowly ES trades and build that up. I don't think platinum has come out with the micros yet, but when they do, probably something I'll look at. But I'm really enjoying just dialing into just one or two indexes right now and really trying to trust this mean reversion plan that I've been using for about a month and 3 red days in a month. It's working out nice. Especially when, I'm on Twitter. I just hear people like having like the worst March ever. And I got to say, like, for me, it hasn't been that bad. I've had 3 red days. I've had 2 of those red days be max loss days. For me, that's between like $200 and $250. But anyway, back to the trade here. Long here, when I go long, I am looking at not only where my targets are going to be, but where my ads are going to be. So I know that my ads are probably going to be at the -2s here. And then we can see I added one in right here, which probably aligned with something at that time on the 30-minute time frame. And it's looking like that was the value area low. So I took this short here, and then as it came down, I added at value area low. Went a little bit in my favor, thinking great, good news. I am actually kind of proud of myself here. It didn't really work out amazing, but this is a situation where I'm learning how to have more than one contract on. And I think a couple weeks ago, I would have taken this one off here and stuck with one. I was like, I really want to see what's happening, especially in the morning when things aren't moving as much. This is about 30 minutes before the market opens, Eastern Standard Time. But got to trust the process. Came down, definitely in some drawdown now. I'm in a drawdown, and I entered long with my third one. And this was really the only scare of the day. But now that I am long 3 contracts, I do not want to hold 3 contracts in drawdown. So I'm going to be looking to take one off and get myself out of that position so that I can re-add and start to average down my position. If right now this break even was here, if I would have held for break even, I would have chopped around, but I would have been chopping down in 3 contract drawdown for a while. And that just frankly doesn't make me comfortable just yet. But what I did do is I took off right here, especially after this scare of the kids. I was like, I do not need a bounce and then more continued downside. Like that's not going to be good for me. So I was like, I'm going to take one off. And if this continues to go lower, now what I'm thinking of with this swing low here, I'm going to be able to take this one, which I just closed for a pretty big loss, right? Up here at pretty much 312 down to 150. So about $75 of drawdown right there on just that one trade. So I lost 75, started the day in the red, $75. And now my break even is in between these two entries right here. So even when I took that off, I'm still in the red. Luckily, it kept pumping for me. When I have 2 on now, things started to look better. But as soon as we hit this swing high, came right back down, chopped around, not great. But once I saw these swing lows start to stack a little bit. That gave me a little bit more confidence. And I was able to take this one off. This one off right here, still, here's second off, second in, second off. This was still at a loss. But now, instead of being down $75, now I'm down $100. But I only have one contract on, and I have a ton of room to the downside that I can now start to think about adding more contracts. This is something that I never realized in trading. I always thought that everything was adding to losers. You're adding to losers. I didn't realize the difference, which I definitely understand now. I didn't understand the difference between adding to a loser just for the sake of hope and dreams and adding to a loser with some strategy in mind, knowing that we're going to be bettering our position. And statistically, we should start to work our way back to VWAP if we can survive the drawdown and stay within our daily risk, which I was able to do. I think at my worst point today, I was in drawdown about $160, $170, which is not a great comfortable position, but it's something that's manageable. If I was trading a mini, that's $1,700. I pretty much just blew up my account, right? The day continued on. I'm still, what am I long? I'm long one round. Now, yeah, I'm long one, and my break even is right here. So these two have been taken off for a loss. Now I'm playing here. What I just did once we got down to these swing lows, I added again. So now I'm long 2, and it continued to go against me. So at the -2, I went in. And this is another thing that's has helped me as I've been growing is being able to add when I'm in drawdown and being like, if this thing really goes against me, then now I'm in for 3 and it really goes against me. I found that by averaging down and understanding the statistics and understanding the strategy, that there's a good chance it's either going to go with my favor, and I'd rather have 3 contracts on when it does go in my favor, or it's going to continue to go down and I'm going to take an L on the day. It's simple as that. But what happened when I got there, and this is a great example, it pretty much bounced right off quickly. This happened very, very fast. From 9:42, I was out of that trade in 45 seconds from here to here. So that was great. And then I pretty much got up and we were pretty much close to, I was close enough, especially after being in drawdown, to get out of that trade and be good to go. Still in the red, but I think at this point, I was in the red like $20 now. Came back down, added another long here, and then I covered at the -1 and I was out of the trade. I do remember when I was out of this trade, I was down $11 on the day, pretty much break even. I think that was all commissions that I was down right there. So that was pretty much the first trade of the day. I'm flat now and I'm at pretty much break even, down like $6 or $7. If there's any questions on any of that, guys, please throw them in the chat. I think there's like a 10 to 15 second delay. So let me just be able to read it. I appreciate that, and give the video a thumbs up. I'm a very small channel. Thumbs up. Definitely let the algorithms know. What prop firms are using? I do not speak about prop firms publicly. If you go back and look at some of my older videos, I talk about the ones that I'm currently trading in. Frankly, if you watched I got banned from Apex. They were somebody that I promoted and I trusted and I worked with, and I even had conversations with the CEO privately. Like, I thought we were cool, and then I asked a question and got banned. And I realized very, very quickly, none of these prop firms are our friends. None of these prop firms want the best for us. They want the best for them. And for that reason, I just don't feel comfortable talking about like any prop firms in particular. I'll tell you some of the rules with my prop firm, and you might be able to figure it out. I'm in all 25K accounts. The one account that I have has a profit target of $12.50. It has a one-time fee. It is not monthly recurring, and I'm allowed to have 5 contracts. And then my other one is a $1,500 target. Also this one has a monthly fee with the discount. It was like $25, but if you're inside my Discord, I definitely will talk about it. I show it. And when I get payouts, I will definitely talk about those as well. I'm not trying to be a dick and be like, I'm not telling you. It's just to protect you and to protect me. Unless I know that person or that CEO personally, I just think it's the wild, wild west out here. And I don't want to put myself in a position where I promote a product now like I did with Apex, and then I find out they're scumbags. It's as simple as that. I hope you can understand where I'm coming from with that. I was able to get out of another contract here. That was a great hold. So now we have these two, got up to here. And then we would have had our first two to VWAP if I had the guts to hold. Simple as that. If I would have had the guts to hold, I probably should have taken off this one here. And then this runner, I probably should have let it go. I probably should have let it go. If I wasn't just burying myself out of that red, if this was like the first trade of the day, I think this would have been a good spot where I would have been like, all right, let's see if we can get back to VWAP. Now the markets are open. Things are moving a little bit better. And then we chopped around VWAP for a little bit. So now once we're chopping around VWAP, what I am looking for is I am looking for a +1 or a -1. Very simple. I could just sit on my hands. It's what I love about this mean reversion. And I love having really, really strict rules. It just makes it very, very easy. I don't have to analyze and look at my entries. I know exactly where they are. I have orders resting on those lines. And that's really, really it. Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, no, I mean, the bad experiences are going to happen. If you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. And if you didn't see the video, as a small trader that's making $134 is an amazing day. Like I average about $75 to $100 a day. When Apex switched from the reoccurring monthly subscription, and all of my PAs that I had with them all took me over a month to get. So when they switched, everyone's like, yay, end of day. I didn't care about end of day because I know how to manage risk. So that was never an issue for me, my trailing drawdown. So I literally said to the guy on Twitter, the CEO that I've spoken to before, that got on Twitter so that he could talk to us. I said, hey man, that 30-day limit hurts guys like me, and it hurts traders that want to trade small, slow, and consistent. Can you consider giving us the opportunity to add a second month, unless YOLOers and gamblers are what you want? Because when I get to day 25, which is 30 days, not 30 trading days, it's 30 calendar days, I'm like, if I'm not there, I feel like I have to YOLO that last week. And he banned me, took away all my affiliates, took away all my accounts, everything, gone. Sorry, dude. Appreciate that. Max, yeah, you're exactly right. That dude's a legend, and he's going to be going live in 10 minutes. And once I wrap up here with this trade recap, I'm going to be going to watch him. Yeah, Futures Fanatic. I had seen his videos, and I'm going to give him credit where credit's due, like years ago, but I guess I just was in that YOLO. I want to be an influencer, and if I start posting $50 wins every day, I'm going to look like a loser. But then I kept blowing up accounts, and I realized that makes you look like more of a loser. So now I'm perfectly okay with it. And I must have seen one of his videos where something just clicked, and I'm like, I'm going to give this dude a try. And then I got in his trade room for his trial, and literally that was a little over a month ago, and I've had 3 red days since. So yeah, that's I am the Traders Dev Group way. I will be in his live stream in a little while, and hopefully a lot of the things I say, I'm learning from him, and he does it right, and he can be a little bit arrogant, but I think he's earned it. If you do your research, and you look into his history and his past, everything he says about his resume, trust me, I did my due diligence. He's on point. So here's a short. So now I'm short, pretty much coming into the -1s. Okay. So we can see right there that ended up being at VPOC. Do you still use Tori's trend lines? So dude, she gets freaking hammered on the internet. I feel bad for her, but I will use trend lines when I'm swing trading. So when I'm swing trading like platinum or metals, and that's where I got platinum from her as well. But I'm finding that I just don't have the patience to swing trade anymore. I like doing it daily. I like tracking the market. So yeah, not really using trends that much anymore. So here's where I just got into positions where I was like, all right, now we're just going to start to make some money and I'm going to hold till the EMAs. So short here, got down, beautiful scalp, right to the EMA, beautiful. Comes back up, boom. I'm in again at the -1s, come down, took my profit again at the trend line. Right at these, so we had, right, this was resistance that was now being turned into support. So I was able to take those off. This was a scenario where I was not too worried about going all the way down to VWAP. With all of these stacking here, I knew that that was a position that I did not want to try and hold through it. And even if we did hold through it, we saw, right, we were getting support here as well. So even if we broke this once resistance now becoming support, I knew like VWAP was right here. To me, this is close enough, especially after then watching this bounce right off the trend. I did not want to hold for, what was it? We're talking 361 down to 312 at this point. So for another $30, I was just happy just taking these scalps right off the +1s. Come back at the +1, boom. I'm going to get a +1. And once again, I'm out. So I wrote this down, went against me a little bit, came back up to the trend. I got out. This one here is a position where I probably should have held a little longer, right? We had already showed, but then again, we showed here. But then even if I was saying that I wanted to use this support and resistance, then I should have held down to here, right? So this was just, this was probably when I got to $100 on the day, because $100 is a huge milestone for me. It is. I have no problem admitting it. Across 10 accounts, that's a really good day, especially for a school teacher. So this was probably a little trigger happy. What should have happened, there should have been another ad here. So it should have been come down here, holding, came back up. I should be short too. If I'm doing this textbook, that's probably what I should be doing. And then look, it came right down and just touched VWAP. Like this one was like, Brad, I definitely did the math on if I held, I did the math on 2 contracts here. So that's what, 450 down to 320. So that would have been like a $75 trade. That would have been nice. But that's like what I have to look forward to. I missed this one because I think I was teaching. So I had like come out of class or something like that. Got back in here. This was right at, I forget, because I think I took this trade because it was right around VPOC. So if we see developing VPOC up here, I think that's why I took that entry so high. I was waiting for that VPOC, and then my next ad was going to be value high, and then my next ad was going to be high of day. So this is another one where it started to go against me quick. But like I said, it's easy for me to get in here knowing that this isn't my stop anymore. This is now another ad. So here it is, entry, another ad, took off at the trend line to get myself pretty much break even on this trade, first in, first out. Now I'm short here, and then I took that pretty much line to line. This is like for me, amazing trade. I was definitely getting giddy now. And this is where I was like, I can't trade anymore for the rest of the day. Just can't do it. And I think that might have been, I might have taken one more, or this might have been when I started to look for the Tues. Yeah, no, I'm not looking for trades anymore because I would have been in there at the +2s. And okay, I see I'm in. Let's talk mindset again, because now it's all coming back to me. This is really just my trade journal, guys. It touched here. I was up like $110, and I'm like, I should be short. And I remember actually from Rod's podcast live stream on Thursday, he was like, who's short with me the -2s? And like people were like one in the chat. And he was like, you better be short at the +2s. So after this missed me, and I was like, good thing I didn't, because now it's going to pump. And then it came back up and touched it again. And I just heard him saying, you better be short at the +2s. And I'm like, it doesn't matter that I'm up 110. I trust the system. The system doesn't know that I'm up 10. It doesn't know that I'm down 20. It doesn't know anything. So I went in, then I added a second because I missed this. You can say I got a little trigger happy, missed it, went in. And then I was like, I took this trade and I saw 134 pop up. I was trading my P&L a little bit. and I was like, I'm good. I'm taking 134. I'm taking that all day. Across 10 accounts, $1,340 on the day. And I told myself I would not take another trade unless it got to +2. And then it didn't get to +2. It kind of just sat around. Let's see what my wife is saying. She's going to get the kids. That's great news. But now, like I said, textbook, if I'm a pro here, I'm coming down. I'm entering short, looking for VWAP, taking some heat, and then maybe I get another VWAP trade there. But like I said, I'm far from that skilled. I just can't do it yet. And also down up $100 and change. Good to go. Getting to the end of the day, I didn't take a trade, so let's just go all the way to the end. And there we are. So right now, it is 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm very, very happy with how the trade day went. Maybe I can open TradeZilla. I don't know. Let me see if I can do this. I don't know how this works. There we go. I can do this. So some of my two of my live accounts and one of my prop firms doesn't connect right with TradeZilla, which is kind of annoying, but not really. You could see up here. They're right here. Okay, if you're observant, this Bolonox does not trade, does not sync here, and then some of my live account brokers. But so this is just my Lucid accounts. Pretty good, right? Not too bad. Not too bad at all. If we look at the trade day, we can see here's that drawdown that I started the day in. And it says 500, but that's across all accounts. So what is my maximum drawdown on the day? Running P&L. Oh, this is just that trade. If I go back to my dashboard, day view, I want to say this is probably 750, right? So 750 across 5. Let's see what my max drawdown was today. 150. Yeah, so what I say, 130 and change. And it's fun. Look at yesterday. I went into max drawdown, not as much. This was like down a couple, but this is why I'm trading micros. I mean, this is a great example of why I'm trading micros. Oh, God, this is the other day. That's Friday, no bueno. But look, I start today in drawdown because I'm not good at entries yet, so I'm working on them. Here, I'm early with my entry, but I know how to manage risk and I know how to add to losers. Once again, down. Just great. You know, I'm very, very happy with that. 85% win rate. I'll take that. My trade expectancy is low, but I'm trading micros. You know, to be up 4,000 in simulated funds that one day will hopefully be other funds. And like I said, 134 across my 3 live accounts. I'll take it. So that's pretty much my teaching salary. So very, very happy with how that's going. And yeah, I'll take any last minute questions before I go get my kids from the bus and we hop on Rod's live stream. What's the indicator using? Can you explain what helps trading? Okay, so I'll talk real quick about this. I'm trading on NinjaTrader, and these are called Renko bars, and they are exclusive to NinjaTrader. And I think one other, like TickBlaze has it. There's a couple that have these modified Renko bars. You don't need these. These, every other indicator here. So these are just swing high and low. You can find that anywhere. And then this is just VWAP with standard deviation bands 1 and 2. That's it. So you can do it on TradingView or anywhere else. I think on Trade of 8, it's called NOM VWAP bands, NOM VWAP bands. But what I found is that if you set this chart up with your VWAP standard deviation 1 and 2 with a 5-minute time frame, it is going to change every time frame. VWAP will be the same, but your standard deviations will be different according to your time frame. I have found that when I am on the 5-minute time frame, my standard deviations for this Renko are pretty close, within maybe 5 points or so, plus or minus. The further on the day, the more they align. But I just like Renkos because they're just not as noisy, right? They're doing this, and what they do is these are an 11-2. So every 11 ticks, it prints a bar, and then every time there's an offset of 2, that's when it switches. So those are the indicators. Right now I have on this chart, I have VWAP with standard deviations 1 and 2. I have swing highs and lows. This EMA is a 233 EMA, a Fibonacci prime number that I just like and others have liked that I trust. And then over here, I just have the volume profile, same 233 trend. I have the high, yesterday's high and low marked out. And yesterday and today's volume point of control marked out. But yeah, this is specific to trading, to NinjaTrader. Just trade on the 5-minute candles, 5-minute candles, standard deviations 1 and 2, and that'll at least be a good place to start. And yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate the kind words. Any other questions we got before we get out of here for the day? Okay. I'll try and do this every day when I get home from work. It depends on what I got going on with the kids. But really, really liking the live stream. Hey, welcome back. Thanks so much for hopping in. Was it Luck Maxi Luck Maxi? But thank you so much, guys. I will see you tomorrow. Okay. Have a good one.